So I'm going to show how to measure distances with Google Earth. Specifically, this is for people who are wanting to run and need to sort of have their own area marked out so they know how far they're going, or they can sort of set goals for how far they want to run. So you could just Google Google Earth, and if you search that, it'll bring you to a link to this page. Click Launch Earth. It takes just a second to load most of the time, so we'll just give it a second. Um, Once we launch it, we should see this globe. Chances are most people who are watching this have already been into Google Earth at some point. The thing I'm going to do is not very complicated at all. It's fairly simple, so it won't take but a second to show once this loads up. All right, so what I'm going to do now is search for a place that I would be interested in running. So what I'm going to do is, let's see, Rainy Road. So this is kind of the area I would run in. So what I'm going to do is measure out a distance here. All right, so here's sort of the area that I would be in to run. I'm going to try to find the exact area. Yeah, right over in this. So I'll just start right about maybe at the end of this cul-de-sac right here. So I can zoom in as much as I want to sort of get closer to this area. So let's say I was going to start right here where my mouse is. So what I'm going to do is over on this side of the screen, I don't know how well you can see my mouse in the video. I think you can see like a pointer of some sort. There's something that says, there's a ruler that says measure distance and area. So by default, it's on meters, I believe. So what I'll do is change it to miles. And you could do kilometers too. In middle school cross country, we run about just a little over 2 miles, I believe. So I usually just do it that way. I think there's a kilometer measurement too, obviously, of course. But so I'm just going to click my first point, and then once I click that, it starts measuring. Click another point, and then I'll just keep going, and it'll sort of connect those dots. Now, once I'm zoomed in, I could zoom out just the normal way. What I'm going to click is the up and down arrows on the keyboard, and that moves across this here. So whenever something's straight, I'm just going to go pretty far distance and click the straight. And then on curves, I sort of have to put more points just to get around the curve. Didn't quite do that right.
Wait, this is our house,
Hey,
right?
Avery.
Where's our house?
All right. And you'll notice as I'm going here on the this side of the screen, underneath distance, it tells me how far I've measured so far. So right now I'm at 8/100ths of a mile. So not very far at this point. And we're just sort of, if you're just beginning your run as a middle schooler and you're trying to mark off something, some people will be ready, but a lot of people aren't ready for the full route we go. So the point of sort of summer getting ready, getting practicing is getting up to that point. So it may be that you just measure off half a mile and you start with that and try to keep a good pace through half a mile, and then you slowly increase it. But what this does is let you know how far you're going so that you're at least going a reasonable amount. So let's say I want to run around this cul-de-sac. It's going to keep going around the cul-de-sac here. So I'm almost at 2/10 of a mile. Or fifth, let's see. All right. What I don't want to do is click here, because if I click on the dot I've already placed, it'll just complete the loop, and that won't work. So I'm going to go way over here and put my next point so that I don't accidentally click on it when it's already done. If I remember correctly, you can hit Control Z, hold down Control and hit Z, and it undoes the last point. So if you do something wrong, I think that works. But it's been a while. It's been, I haven't done this since cross country season, so I could be wrong about that. And I don't want to have to redo everything on the video, so I'm not going to do that now. Let's say I wanted to run back into this cul-de-sac here. So far, if I were just out running this, and I haven't run in a while, I would feel like I'd run a pretty long distance at this point. Just because, I haven't been working out like I need to. I haven't been running. So this would be quite a bit. But, by doing this measurement and knowing exactly what I'm running, I can kind of tell that it's really not where I need to be. Maybe I've run this far and I'm tired and I need to, but at least I know that I need to push myself to do a little more next time or something like that. So I think having an idea of how far you've gone is really important. So I'm just going to keep measuring through here. So I'm almost at half a mile. Once again, I could go down all these little, let me try the Control Z now. Yeah, see, Control Z, so it did work. So I just didn't want to. All right, so let's say I don't want to go down that road. Maybe there's some dog down there that's going to bite me. I don't know. So I'm just going to keep going here. Let's see, but I do want to go down this road. So I'm going to go down this way. Same thing. My points aren't perfect. My measurement's not going to be perfect because I'm not, taking an extreme amount of time to do any of the points.
That's what I'm learning now.
Mm-hmm. All right, and I'm just going to keep going. And there's a big hill here, so we do need to be running down hills. So maybe I will go down the hill. Actually, this would be down the hill. It's going back up the hill. That's the hard part. All right, so I'm going down this hill, really long hill. All right, so right now we're at 7/10, just over 7/10 of a mile. So I wouldn't have to measure at this point. I would just know if I went back and I repeated that all the way back, the same thing, I would be another 7/10 of a mile. So I'm getting pretty close right now. So if I wanted to do a full 2 miles, maybe I'd have to add a little bit and go down this road, or maybe doing 7/10 there, 7/10 back is enough for now. But that gives you an idea, hopefully, of how to sort of measure out what you're running in your particular area, so that you can get an idea of how far you've run and set goals on how far you want to get next time, perhaps. Oh, and just to show you, let me zoom out, not in. Just to show you, if we do complete a circuit, I'll show you what it does. Now, obviously, I'm not going to do this because I'd be running through the woods, but let's say I did complete the circuit. Here, let's say I did this. So obviously now I'm a little looser with my measurements. Let's say I did this and then I ran through the woods there and hit it back. It'll complete it. And so this whole loop here, I don't think I could actually run because I'd be through people's yards. But let's say I could. This whole loop would be a mile, so I would know if I did this exactly 2 times, I would be right at sort of our goal, where we want to be eventually. So I can measure out something like this, run as much as I could at first, sort of get an idea, and then start slowly pushing myself to run a little bit more of it each time. Maybe I do one loop, and then the next time I try to do, or do one loop a few times, and the next couple of times I try to do just a little bit over a loop until I get to my goal where I want to be.